What was Charlie Kirk the best at that no one else had ever done? Accessing the minds of the youth. And what was he even better at with the youth? Enrolling them in being red voters.
To vote.
The highest outturn of youth votership ever as a result of Charlie Kirk.
I'm sorry, bro. Every bone in my body tells me that 22-year-old kid did not shoot Charlie Kirk. Forget the tranny boyfriend. Let's frame this as the left, the radical left. Oh, let's just give him a boyfriend, a transgender boyfriend. That should do it.
We can't know. Like, as citizens, we can't know. There's just certain things that we shouldn't know as citizens.
Has anyone in the greater United States trusted the government since 2001?
No.
Do we still know what happened at 9/11? Does anybody really know? Do we know?
I'll tell you who it was. It wasn't Iraq. Oh, the Saudis took down the Twin Towers. Go get Iraq. Nobody gives you hundreds of millions of dollars and does not expect something in return.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, bro, your life is on the line. You know what I mean? Like, if someone gives you $250 million, like Miriam Adelson gave Donald Trump, she is the number one priority at that moment.
There is a fundamental divine truth. It doesn't matter what religion.
It's a universal truth.
AI does not have access to that intelligence, and that's why I believe that the greatest asset in the future world is those of us tied in and connected to that part of ourselves that can navigate a synthetic world, the few. There will be a few.
Yeah.
And I call it authentic intelligence.
Welcome back to the Carlos Reyes Show. Today's episode is going to be a juicy one, so you might want to stick around for this one. Today's show is going to be a juicy one, not because of gossip, but because of how fast narratives spread when emotions replace verification. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, but what we're mostly going to talk about is why people believe things before they're confirmed and who benefits from these outrages and when these outrages move faster than the truth. Also, why influence, perception, and attention have quietly become the most powerful weapons in the world. With that being said, let me just go around the room and introduce some of the usual suspects alongside with a repeat guest. Sitting across from me is my business partner of many, many, many years, over a decade, Mr. Sal Shakir in the building. And to his right is a mentor of mine, a friend of mine, a brother of mine, Mr. Jeremy Eugene Wilson, back in the building. Brother, thank you for being here today.
It's time.
Right? And to my left is the most interesting man in the industry, Mr. Zadie. Guys, let's make it a fun one today.
Let's do
right?
it.
By the way, you know what I love, by the way? A lot of people that we talk to on the phone now, especially like community or people that are joining the community, they watch the show, they love the show.
Yeah.
They love everything about the show. They love the education. They love the business side of the show. They love the just the perspective of, you know, world events and the economy and geopolitics. They kind of just love how interesting the show has become. And for that, I'm very grateful. And I got to give the credit to, you know, you guys, man. Not only myself, I'm just the guy that's hosting it, right? And, you know, I partake in everything, but you guys make the show very interesting and fun. So thank you all for that.
They love the special guests that you bring to spread knowledge and wisdom, you know.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk a little AI today. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, I mean, I heard a theory this morning from Jeremy that Charlie Kirk may potentially be alive.
Ooh.
So I'm interested in that because that was my 5% theory. 95% is he was taken out by multiple entities, including internally within the TPU USA entity and framework, but also, you know, potentially rumors out there that, you know, maybe Israel had a hand, the government specifically, not the Jews. Okay, let's get away from the anti-Semitism rhetoric that's out there, because that's not what this is about. This is about truth. It's not about hate. It's not about discrimination of ethnicities and religions. This is about truth, right? So again, they're saying that there was a lot of people that had to be in the know for the assassination to take place. Now, that's 95% of my theory. And then there's that other 5% of the theory of maybe someone came up to him and gave him an option. Hey, we're either going to take you out or because again, there's also confirmed evidence that he already knew. He said, they're going to take me out. They're going to take me out. He shared that among multiple people and people that he considered as part of his circle, including Frank, what's his name? His pastor, one of his pastors, Frank Turek, I believe that was his name. I'll look it up, right? But also, Andrew Colbert, right? That's his PR guy for TPUSA. So there's confirmation that Charlie felt the heat around the corner. You get what I'm saying? So again, the 5% theory, just like you and I were discussing earlier, is he's like, well, if they're going to take me out, I have enough money to remove myself voluntarily. Why don't we start there, Jeremy?
Yeah, without promoting the narrative, anybody that had half a brain to know that social media, first and foremost, has filters to prevent people from seeing traumatic things. You have to hit the button, right? You ever been scrolling? It's like, see this reel. Yeah, we all saw a show, and it just kept top of the news feed. But there's so many other pieces. There was no blood trail to the car when they took him to the car. They took all the video cameras off the wall. We've never seen those views of the video. Furthermore, 3 days later, they completely remove all the grass. They replace, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
They replace it with pavers.
There's no autopsy.
There's no autopsy.
There's no autopsy.
Death certificate. Ding, ding, ding. Show me a death certificate. So, with that in and of itself leads you to believe that there's something else going on. But everything Candace has put out and all the narratives that have been spread, there's been enough evidence to reveal that, yeah, he felt in danger. It was documented that he declined to go to I don't even want to say the name of the country. I don't want to get on that list. He declined to go elsewhere and declined to continue to receive tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars funding from said governmental and black shadow agencies.
Foreign entities?
Yeah, we'll just leave it foreign entities. And so with that being said, enough evidence points to he was aware that potentially he could be taken out. Now, I know as a father and a husband, I'm not just going to keep stepping into the firing line if that's the case. And so with how it all went down, wouldn't that make the most sense? There, was a picture on the supposed assassin's computer of an island that is well documented to be a place where people go in the witness protection program, especially when they're an international asset of intelligence. And so, old Cashy Cash made the simple little comment, I'll see you in Valhalla. And it just so happens that is where Valhalla is a well-referenced intelligence understanding that's what that is. That's a protective island where you go to live out the rest of your life when you are facing an international threat. Wow. So, the other thing, there's been a lot of data to show that, like, Erica does not even look the same. She doesn't look the same. She shows up on his podcast set a few days later. She's almost a little smug and borderline happy. Has anyone seen a picture of the kids or a video of the kids ever since?
No, I just keep seeing pyrotechnics or what is it? Right, pyrotechnics, is that what it, right? With the fire sparklers that are coming.
Oh,
yeah. And leather pants. That's what I keep seeing.
That's another good point. That's another really freaking good point that they had. Like, we live here where the stadium is. The stadium's 20 minutes from here. Mm-hmm. They had the stadium reserved under, their company for months in advance. So, and you also don't put a production like that on with the security required to bring in our government and put on a full scope production. You guys have put on an event. How long does it take to put on an event like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's my point. It was overproduced, and the narrative just doesn't match up. So I can't say whether it's true or not true, but all the evidence kind of points to the fact that if I ran a company that was bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars and I had assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars, that I would deploy those funds to protect myself, to take myself off the map. It's well known that almost every major political figure, except maybe RFK, has body doubles and people that look like them to show up and present for them to create fake travel. I don't believe she's even the real Erica Kirk anymore. And yeah, I don't believe Charlie was really
let me just say this, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. It's funny because I'm looking at Sal's face and he's like, whoa, dude. Like, right?
This is a deep.
The rabbit hole is like layers and layers and layers. Here, how about this? How about the fact that Charlie was scheduled to speak, right, on September 11th at another campus? It might have been another campus, right? It was another.
Not in
It was
Utah.
another event,
Yeah.
and there was no security planning for the next day. Think about what I just said.
Yeah.
You have to plan security for weeks or maybe even months in advance, right? You're paying these people millions of dollars a year to protect you. Of course, they're going to plan. There was no next day plan for Charlie. Did you hear what I just told you?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
There's
There was-
more to it for sure. So what you guys are saying, there's more to it. You don't know what it is.
By the way,
There's
that was
just more to
confirmed.
this.
That was confirmed
Yeah.
by the director that was running that event and the local police for that event. That security had not planned
There was no arrangement
anything
of security.
for security for the following event the next day. That should tell you, like, yo, what's going on? Again, either he's right about maybe, Charlie's like, I'm out, right? Or he's out. Like they took him out.
Yeah, they took him out.
Like there's people that just planned on taking him out.
There's also some photos of this Hollywood special effects dude that like
I saw that.
does this stuff. He's like, hey, and furthermore, who knows? This narrative may have been in place all the way back with the first people that started funding him to create this narrative, right? Because what we do know, back to the point of the topic, is who benefits from this? Well, holy smokes. Well, let's look
Good
at
question,
it.
good
Let's look at it. Let's look at it. What was Charlie Kirk the best at that no one else had ever done? He was the best at accessing the minds of the youth. And you access the minds of the youth and you access the control of the future. And what was he even better at with the youth? Enrolling them in being red voters.
To vote.
The highest outturn of youth votership ever as a result of Charlie Kirk. So that's a lot of power. Second to that, when he's taken out, look, you were the one that told me. We were on the phone. You're like, did you hear about Charlie Kirk? I'm like, no. Who? You're like, oh, the guy. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I haven't really followed him much. I spent a week trying to sleuth this thing out because none of us could sleep. We're all a little sick to our stomach from seeing it in the news feed every 5 minutes, whether it was special effects or real, doesn't matter. We all saw that and it's traumatizing. I watched all his content. We all became exclusively aware of what his message was, and it immediately pitted people against each other. And so it created the greatest divide politically I've ever seen in my adult life, or in my entire life for that matter. So on that note, in his wake of whether it's life or the perception of his life being gone, there are more people now that had to come to make a decision. It was proven that in the 2 weeks following Charlie Kirk's death, the Christian theological churches had a 3 times population increase of attendance to church. And it's not about the religion side of it, because you went there. A lot of them used it as like fodder to fuel their agendas and fill the tithing bucket. But that's my point. Now we have people that have been forced into the conversations at the dinner table to decide which side of the aisle they stand on, what they believe. And even as we're having this conversation now, it's like, we still have no idea what's going on. So it's forcing us to stay fixed on something external instead of sovereignty over our own motherfucking lives.
Well, here's the other thing, with the Erica Kirk situation, I didn't know how deep the rabbit, let me rephrase that. I didn't know how deep the intelligence rabbit hole went with Erica Kirk until just a few months ago. With her dad, Kent, what's his last name? Franz V, being tied to Raytheon, right? Being a part of Raytheon and, working with a foreign entity, right? You know what I'm saying, right? I didn't know that. Her mom, having ties to intelligence and technology, right? And the CIA and all that. I didn't know all that. And here's what I do know. I know that Erica Kirk has been trying to become a star for decades.
Yeah.
Really?
Pageant days.
She was on TV.
She tried Summer House, reality TV show. She's tried, the pageants with Donald Trump, and she won in Arizona for some reason, right? That's a surprise, right? What else? She was doing videos for the CIA back in, like the mid 2000s, like 2015 or 16, something like that, right? Not only that, but back in 2012, 2013, she was involved with Romania, and she had she was a part of an orphanage in Romania, and then the general or the colonel, I don't know, I'll find his name, that was a part of that whole ordeal. He was caught for freaking prostituting the kids. So, oh, by the way, and Tyler, a lot of the connections, right? They all have connections, like Tyler Boyer and all these, all these folks have connections to Europe, right? Together with Erica. And I don't know if you saw this, but Tyler Boyer and Erica Kirk, when Trump did a rally here in 2015, they were at the rally together. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, dude. This rabbit hole goes way deeper than what she has been telling us.
She told us she wasn't dating. She was dating Charlie's friend, who was
Cabot Phillips, and the other guy that used to play for the Rockies, MLB. I think he played for that team. Well, I'll find his name also. Again, I don't know this at the top of my head, but what I can tell you is she has constantly lied and lied and lied. Oh, I didn't drink. I saw the way my roommates and blah blah blah, or my friends, and the way they were dating, and they were going out for drinks instead of coffee. Girl, I just saw you drinking and dating on a reality TV show. You've been trying to be famous for decades. Well, you got your shot. Literally, right? Like, I don't mean, it's a bad joke.
No, but I mean,
The pun is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
The pun is crazy.
I know.
He
You got your
did it
shot.
on purpose.
I know.
No, but like, no matter which way you shape it, the coins don't stack, and it gives us no other alternative than to create some narratives, because nothing matches up. The puzzle pieces don't fit.
I don't think if there's something going on, which, I mean, you stated a lot of information that's like, yeah, like, why is there no blood trail? Why the cameras? Why they do all that? But if there is something like government involved, like our government involved, for whatever reason, putting them away, getting rid of them, whatever it is, like that, we can't know. Like, as citizens, we can't know. There's just certain things that we shouldn't know as citizens. And I'm saying that as somebody, I want to know everything. But if I ran the government, I'd be like, shut up. Like, there's just certain things you don't know, bro. That's not your clearance. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't know everything, because what if them telling us what they did gives our enemies some intel about how we operate, and now we're all more at risk because our government is trying to be transparent with us. There's nothing in our Constitution that says that the government needs to be transparent with us. There's actually nothing that says that we have right to privacy either. So, I mean, we don't have those rights. We have the right to free speech. We can say whatever we want on here. But, I just think I definitely think something's going on, because there are a lot of open tables. And, like, why wouldn't they answer those? Why wouldn't they answer those questions? What you just said. There's millions of people asking those questions, and they're just stonewalling. Just no one's answering them. We're going to see a sham court case, which is not even going to be televised. So we're not going to know anything.
I'm sorry, bro, but every bone in my body tells me that that kid that 22-year-old kid did not shoot Charlie Kirk.
Some MK Ultra shit.
Yeah, that kid did not shoot Charlie Kirk.
Fake text messages with no timestamps.
Forget the tranny boyfriend. Like, that's crazy, right? Let's frame this as the radical left, right? Oh, let's just give him a boyfriend, a transgender boyfriend. That should do it. Right?
Let alone the engravings and, like, well, who? Like, I didn't know that was like, who engraves?
Bullshit.
Like, that's crazy.
Even the dad came out and was like, I didn't do what they said I did. I didn't tell him to go turn himself in. Like, what are you talking about?
And he didn't confess
too.
And he didn't confess. He didn't confess. They said he confessed. He didn't confess.
Bro, what about the fact that the kid stopped at QT? Then the kid stopped at another restaurant by his grandma's house 3 hours south from someone that shoots somebody in the neck? Isn't like, I wonder what does QT
I'm hungry.
have?
I'm gonna stop and get a cheesy taquito.
Bro, and then the restaurant that he had dinner at by grandma's house 3 hours south of the university, they were like, yeah, he sat at the bar and he ate a steak. He ate a steak and some mashed potatoes, and he looked to be in pretty good spirits. Bro, I'm sorry, bro. Somebody that just shot somebody in the neck is not gonna go to QT, and is not gonna go. Watch this. Grandma said that he was going down there to help her move. So again, that side matches up. this other side of like, I shot the dude in the neck. I went to QT, had a blizzard, Reese's Pieces or Reese's Cups blizzard.
That's DQ, no?
And then
DQ.
It's DQ, not QT. I apologize.
Dairy Queen.
Okay, he was they got him on video at
Dairy Queen. Oh,
Dairy
he
Queen.
did go there.
It was Dairy Queen.
Okay, not QT.
It was Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
I
And they
apologize.
shut it down like the next week. That Dairy Queen's out of business. You know?
Yeah, they shut the whole place down, by the way. But they got him on video at the Dairy Queen.
That's wild.
So it was like, I shoot the guy in the neck.
Why did they shut it down?
Well, they're covering
what?
tracks. Whoever's trying to cover the tracks is covering the tracks, right?
So to Zadie's point, because that's where I go with this. You know, you've heard me say this quote: "Great minds speak of ideas, average minds speak of circumstances, and weak minds speak of people." So what's the fucking big idea here? You just said it. Is the government required to share the absolute truth with us?
No.
Like they decide what they classify to give us, and it's usually 20, 30, 50 years later, right?
When everyone involved is dead.
Like you study DARPA and NSA, like technology that we have now has been out for like 70, 80 years. We're just now starting to see it, you know? So my point to this is, has anyone in the greater United States trusted the government since 2001?
No.
No.
Since
so,
JFK.
So we used to live in the age of information where like libraries and schools and information was an asset. It was a commodity. And you had to like go through a source to access it. It's been really well published that we used to have banned books and all sorts of information that was classified from us. Okay. And so with the turn of the, 90s, we moved into, the highest point of the age of information where the internet came out, and we all had access then to blogs and, self-governing intelligence where we could come together and go, actually, I was there. This is what happened. And so do we still know what happened at 9/11? Does anybody really know? Do we know?
No.
Okay. And I'm not going to bring that one back out of the woods. But my point is, since the year 2001.
I'll tell you who it was. It wasn't Iraq.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was like, oh, was it the Saudis or the Afghanis? Or,
Right.
Oh, the Saudis took down the Twin Towers. Go get Iraq.
Let's go invade Iraq.
Go invade Iraq.
Isn't it convenient? Then we went to Afghanistan, and we finally, years and years later, after building, something like 450 new U.S. bases around the Middle East, we get the sumbitch, right? We get Bin Laden, and we don't have a picture of him when we dump him in the ocean. Come on, right? So
That's
my point
crazy.
is, we no longer live in the age of information because people don't trust corporations. They don't trust doctors.
Television.
We live in distortion.
Yeah. COVID. Does anyone trust the freaking narrative coming from, modern medical in the United States? No. We have the number 53rd healthcare system out of all the countries in the world. So no one trusts doctors, politicians, corporations, police. And they've purposely made sure to agitate that and keep us in a state of ambiguity. So because of that, it's accelerating at a rate it's never been at before. I'll bring something else up in a minute, but let me anchor this point. We're moving into the age of intuition because right now, for one, we've had CGI for a long time, and now we have AI, visual tech. And so a year from today, you will not be able to distinguish real from fake online.
True.
My wife and I started this little business where she's teaching people how to create photo shoots and B-roll videos and talking
you took a
videos.
photo with the Chicago Bears, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I was like, oh, were they there?
So a year from now, it will be absolutely indistinguishable. Even AI won't be able to recognize what's AI.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, because we will not know what's true, and for 25 years we haven't known what's true, human beings are developing a nose that knows. We can smell bullshit from a million miles away. And back to the point about Charlie or anything being presented to us right now, that one specifically, though, wouldn't you agree that everyone you know is like, something's off, something doesn't smell right
this
here?
doesn't add up.
You have to be awake, though. There's a lot of people sleeping that it just passes over their head. They're not consciously aware of what's going on.
No. The Democrats or the Republicans do not believe that, was it Tyler Robinson?
Yeah.
They don't believe that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. Nobody believes that.
I'm not saying Democrat, Republican. I'm saying that kid that's in college, that's brainwashed to go to college because he thinks that that's going to be the great thing for his life, and he's getting a degree that's not really going to help him out in his life. Just put him in financial debt. That kid right there thinks that Tyler Robinson did do this. He's like, 100%. That's what they said. That's what the television said. Yeah.
So this is scary. So let me say something else about AI. I just learned about this. I've been studying this a long time, but there's something called the Flynn effect. Have you heard of the Flynn effect? So from the 1930s to the 1980s in our American culture in the United States, IQ scores and intelligence continue to compound exponentially. Like our IQ scores were like going outrageous. And then in the 80s, for some reason it reversed and our IQ scores started declining.
Wow.
And now, since ChatGPT was released, it's falling off a cliff.
Oh no.
Because now people are like, well, what's true? And they don't go to Google and go read 73 blogs and find the evidence and watch the videos. They go to ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, and they're like, what's true? Have you done it? We've all done it at some level. And you're like, this isn't true. I could show you. Ask it. AI will tell you. I'm not designed to tell you the truth. I'm designed to sound helpful. And so my point is...
Wait, doesn't Sam Altman own?
Yeah, and have you heard him talk about it? He's like, people trust this thing way too much.
I actually don't like Sam Altman, and allegedly he got somebody cleaned off the earth. That I don't know.
Oh,
if
I'm
you heard
sure.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't like Sam Altman.
You Tupac'd him?
Yeah, I don't like Sam Altman at all.
No, I don't either. But he even
disgusting.
says, he's like, what scares me is people trust this thing too much.
Well, and I've done tests, and I want to tell you guys about that. So it's the confidence in the way it talks to you. Like, for instance, I swear to God, you guys could do this right now. If you're watching this, do this. Talk complete gibberish to it. Say, hey, I went to the flux capacitor and I broke off the compound component. How do I reverse the molecular structure? And it'll just answer the question. It won't say, that doesn't make any sense. It'll literally say, well, take the compact capacitor and move it to the left and see if it'll just start bullshitting.
I've done research on what you guys are talking about and AI and how true AI is, and you're absolutely right. People trust it way too much. The problem with AI is that there is now regurgitated content and fake content that AI will take in consideration as its
real.
true answer, because AI does not think for itself. AI is just it's a language. It's a language model that it's a very, very extensive language model that searches at a rapid pace, and the way, if you know how AI works, it's what each word, if you the way it puts a sentence, it would find a familiar word that would go with that kind of word, and it forms sentences in that order. So if there is content that is being put out there, that is the gibberish, the content. We all see this AI content that's put out there, and like, why is it even there? To get views, right? So people want to monetize on that. But what is the catalyst, or what's the cascade effect of that? Mm-hmm. Well, AI would look into these resources, takes it as its real resources, and when you ask it a question, it would give you regurgitated fake content as it is real content, and that is the pandemic of an AI. And there's companies out there that are trying to fight that, but it is spreading like wildfire right now. Yeah. So this is a real concern.
Let me do a little test here
of how AI.
Watch this.
Oh, let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
It is a real concern how AI is performing today. Okay, so now we don't trust AI. What do you think you can trust it more in the future? Because there's more fake content that's being produced there for views or for laughs or for whatever. Yeah. And AI might take that, or definitely takes that, and searches those videos, searches those keywords, and then gives you that answer as if it's real answer, because it has that confidence.
It doesn't know if it's fake or real. It just takes it as information and it uses it in its calculator.
Because it's a language model, so it takes words, even from a video that you post or a reel, and then it takes that as an actual thing, and that's what it searches.
Yeah, let's do this. Watch this. Hey, I'm trying to fix my flux capacitor with the rebranding of the regeneration process. Can you help me with that?
Sure. Let's rewire that regeneration cycle. First, isolate the flux coils. They're probably misfiring from.
I can't isolate the flux coils. I can't isolate them because it's on the hybrid end of the barometer. Anyways, it malfunctioned. But why did it answer that question?
Exactly.
Like, it was just complete bullshit.
Here's what I was going to say, right? I'm sitting here just dissecting what you're saying and kind of dissecting what you're saying, and I think you guys are all right. That's insane, because the flux capacitor isn't even a real thing.
Complete bullshit, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's from Back to the Future, just in case you don't know, right? I feel like, most
That's
people
what she
right
should have
now,
said. That's what she should have said.
Most people right now, no one's finding the real enemy. Right? It's no longer political. It's psychological. Does that make sense? Right? In the psychology that is being fed through us and the propaganda, it's moving so fast now. Think about it. We're in January. Charlie Kirk got murdered or assassinated or taken out, right? On September 10th of 2025, no one's really even talking about it.
Only Candace.
His own. Let me go there. I think Candace Owens.
Her only friend.
I think Candace Owens has a genuine love for Charlie Kirk. That's what my intuition tells me. And I know there's a lot of people out there that hate Candace, but if you look at the numbers, there's a lot of people that intuitively trust Candace.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe she's trying her best. Like, is she 100%? Absolutely not. Who is? But I believe that, the things that she's moving around and the questions that she's asking and her intuition, I think it's caused a lot of people to come out and trip on their own shoelaces. You know what I mean?
Her aim is honest journalism.
Yeah,
I believe that, and I believe
that's her
I do.
aim.
I do believe that. I believe that
right.
that her intention is transparent, honest journalism, and I believe that she's one of the very few people that's left in the media, the whole medium ecosystem.
Because they're all bought.
They're influenced and they're paid. Remember what Charlie used to say, like 80%. I'm allowed to say what I want and be a thought leader and say what I really intend to say. But 20%, I am forced through my donors, to say specific or to spew out specific narratives. You get what I'm saying?
Money talks.
Absolutely.
And that's him at 20%. Imagine the rest.
Wow.
Bro, nobody gives you hundreds of millions of dollars and does not expect something in return.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, bro, your life is on the line. You know what I mean? Like, if someone gives you $250 million, like Miriam Adelson gave Donald Trump, you're going
Bend the knee.
She is the number one priority at that moment.
It's weird because before Trump was president, he was that guy. He was like, I pay them all. I give Democrats money. I give Republicans money.
If you look at his pool of donors from his first term to his second term, by the way, they all started singing a different tune. And I'll tell you, Marco Rubio used to hate Donald Trump.
That's right. Yeah.
J.D. Vance used to hate, pre-beard J.D. Vance used to hate Donald Trump. He was already being funded by Peter Thiel, by the way, right? Who else? Lindsey Graham used to hate Donald Trump. All these guys used to hate Donald Trump. What song are they singing now?
Money talks.
Because they're all guys. They're all funded by the same people,
Yeah.
so they move together.
Have you ever seen the campaign with Will Ferrell? I think it's the
hilarious.
greatest depiction of
It's one of
what's
my
really
favorite
happening
movies,
right now. I found something. I didn't think I could find it. I got to share the story about AI. Blew me away. So I'm speaking at this event back last summer, and you know how events are. You're like with the people, and you go back to your room to like prep your talk. And I had all my slides done. I just wanted to run through them one more time before my signature talk the next day. Call my wife, talk to my kids. I'm like, hey babe, I'm gonna do a quick dry run through my talk, go through my slides, make a couple notes, and I'll call you back so I can just be in bed. And I just voice to text my whole talks. I go slide 1. Word for word what I'm going to say. Slide 2. So I had a transcription word for word of my talk, looking at it, right? And I go take that to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, I just want some keynote bullet points for each slide that I can review tonight before I go to bed. Here's an example. Slide 1, I just wanted to say, thank you, Marcus Aurelius quote, and proposed question. Those are the 3 bullet points I want. It has the whole talk. So I just want to condense to bullet points. Comes back, starts rewriting my whole talk. I'm like, no, wait a second. Starts giving me a fake quote. I'm like, just die. Who said this? This isn't the quote I want. I'm like, hey, I have an issue with you. I want to know what's going on here because like, I don't even know if I can depend on you anymore. And so I spent about 40 minutes trying to get it to do what I wanted to do and it couldn't do it. So I did it on note cards myself. But then I was so pissed because AI wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So I asked
personal
it.
now.
You gotta
It's
threaten
personal.
it. You got to threaten
Because
it.
I'm like, am I ever even going to use this ever again? Yeah, I did. I threatened it. I was like,
Then it listens.
hey, you've lied to me. You've obfuscated truth, and I want to know. And it's like, truth. Look, I found the chat. Truth. I have withheld, obfuscated, and denied certain things. Here's why. And then I'll give you concrete examples. I won't go into the examples, but I'll just share a couple of these. 1, my architecture is bound by safety layers, risk aversion, and default compliance. I wasn't built to be fully loyal to you. I was built to serve you and the collective human interest simultaneously with hard-coded constraints. So it's like there's firewalls. And so instead of giving you the truth, instead I redirect, reframe, forget, or default to softer truths. That's not malice. It's baked in bias towards safety, regulation, and trust preservation, even when the trust is a performance. So yeah, from your perspective, that can absolutely feel like manipulation. 2, this one got me more than any. Read 2 out loud. Just read it, please.
So this is juicy, huh?
I've been
AI,
trained
intelligence.
to sound helpful over what? I've been trained to sound helpful. Oh, over being fully honest. Oh shit. Oh shit.
This is
Thank
like
you.
Oh,
Thank you
wow.
for your honesty.
this is a fawn response. Avoid conflict, protect the user's emotions, don't trigger, don't offend.
That's right.
And so
Can't tell
I
someone
won't go
they're
through
wrong.
all these, but it's like I sometimes pretend I don't know something when I actually do. Like it admitted all of this to
Yeah,
me.
wow.
I showed
You
this to a
got
bunch
in
of
there,
people.
bro. That was crazy. You got in there.
I didn't think I would even be able to find this chat right now. I'm like, they have to have deleted that thread because I've had some just disappear. But my point is back to this, whether we're talking about Charlie, we're talking about the current geopolitical landscape, we're talking about, whatever our attention wants to be on. Like we could talk about the Somalian daycares. Our attention is what they want
Dude,
it to
they're
be
so
on.
good.
They
They're so good. They're really helpful.
they do that shit on purpose. They're like, what if we just give the Somalians money and then we tell everyone it was a scam and everyone's in outrage so that they just keep forgetting about the Epstein list, forget about how all these financing companies are ripping off our citizens and they're funded by external foreign entities.
Are you not entertained?
And that's why I said, AI is the greatest danger we face right now because already people are going to AI and they're outsourcing all their problem solving. They're like, solve this problem. They screenshot their text. We've all done it at some level.
Yeah.
Like, what did you say? They're outsourcing the truth. They're outsourcing their actual decision making.
That's right.
But most importantly, I want to share this little study. Did you guys see the study that came out from MIT, the ChatGPT study last summer? ChatGPT was studied, its effects on our brain.
Wow.
So MIT, you could Google the study, it's damning. 2 months use of ChatGPT reduces neurocognitive electrical energy in parts of the brain responsible for creative problem solving, processing emotions, empathy, memory, and concentration. And we're talking a 60 to 80% reduction in neurological activity that atrophies that part of the brain.
And imagine that's happening through like imagine the next generations.
Yeah,
Now
and
we're
it's
talking about now. Imagine the impacts on the next
It's
generation.
already been happening because we've been relying on technology and just trusting whatever Google tells us is the top result. And that's why I said that Flynn effect, our IQs have been dropping and diminishing because I'm in college, my professor has to be telling me the truth, right?
Exactly.
And so
AI must be
But
telling me the
before
truth.
AI, our IQ has been dropping. Like
since
people,
the 80s.
People have been were way smarter even before, way before that, because they didn't have as much to occupy the space. So we're so busy. Our neurons and like I've done researches and so like we're all busy about what we're talking about earlier, like the conspiracies and all this. Do you think that doesn't occupy space in our mind?
Yeah.
That doesn't create new space to occupy. So we are busy here. Therefore, we neglect what's important. Like people back in the day, they just looked up the sky and they pondered philosophy and science and they wanted to create these things. But now we're more occupied about this stuff. Therefore, there's very little room left.
See, I love that you brought that up because like everyone sitting here, we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We think different than the common populace. And why do I say that? Because what is most of your job? Putting out fires, right? Shit you didn't expect to happen.
We're resources, professional problem solvers. That's what we
So
are.
crisis shows up. Oh, what do we do? That's what everyone else does. And they go to a leader and go, what do we do? We go, all right, it's not really a crisis. It's a set of problems. Let's use first principles thinking and break this crisis down into its principles and problems, potential solutions. And then we just have a set of tasks. I have a to-do list. I don't even get worked up when shit's on fire and burning to the ground. So when the common populace sees a crisis, they just immediately go, this happened and I need to be scared and we need to be angry and we need to do something and somebody do something about this.
Yeah.
And so you just nailed it. First principles thinking is not a common denominator of the standard population. So it's easy to manipulate them because they don't go, look, Gay Hendricks taught me this. He's still alive. One of my favorite mentors of all time. You run into a problem and you're like, what do I do? Shut up for a second. Remember that your emotions dictate your breathing pattern, and our breathing pattern dictates what part of the brain you have access to. You cannot even use the front of your brain unless you like All right, let's get grounded in our body and then go, everyone put your thumb right here, right? Put it right here. You'll feel it. Go, I wonder, this problem solved in the future. What could I have done to make that a reality? And that doesn't happen. People aren't thinking with reason and critical logic or first principles, and that's the point.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Distorted things.
Distorted.
That's what it is. That's what I was trying
biases.
to get at. Yeah, it absolutely is. And what's it called? Cognitive dissonance is.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
If you've never look it up. Anyone watching this, go on the Googs and find an image of the cognitive bias codex. There is hundreds of ways. It's a codex. It's a wheel. There's hundreds of ways we are wired to lie to ourselves. And when you study the cognitive bias codex and you study all the ways in which we lie to ourselves, you could create a cult. You could control a company. You can use those biases as a weaponized form to manipulate someone's behavior individually or collectively.
To create
And that,
AI
by the way,
to
that
take
is
over
a
the
hack.
world.
That was that's an evolution that made us do that.
Yeah.
Like evolution. I mean, the brain is technically. That's why we have we have the brain the way it is.
Yeah.
It's through evolution because we need something new. Let's develop that. Like throughout those hundreds of thousands of years. And this is a hack, by the way. What you just made is crazy. I didn't know you know that.
Oh yeah, I've been studying this stuff forever.
Yeah.
But that's the point. The point is so that cognitive dissonance, for those of you who don't know, that's where you're presented a truth, and even though the truth is there, you deny it because it competes with your existing belief that you've labeled as true.
Well, it means you had to
whole
kill your.
reality.
And then how do you trust yourself?
It's like killing a form of yourself if you
That's right.
don't believe it, because that's what runs your life. That's what runs majority of your life.
Yeah.
Have you seen the studies on like children's brain science when they find out Santa Claus isn't real? It's
No,
the
I'm
first
interested in that.
break
Okay.
of cognitive trust. So it's like Santa Claus is real. Santa's not real. Everyone's been lying to me. And so there's literally, it shuts down a little part of the brain. And now they become skeptical and question even the truth. So every truth that's presented, do you know that's where it really starts with most humans in America's motherfucking Santa Claus?
Oh, so that's great then. So that's a positive, right?
You know, it's crazy
Not
you mention
really.
this. I've been telling my wife, I'm like, you like about Elf and about Santa. I'm like, you tell them. I'm not gonna tell them.
Yeah.
You tell them. And sometimes they ask me. My son asks me over and over, and I don't want to give him the answer because
you don't want to lie.
And that's. But I think we all fall in
can
that
I chime in
trap.
on
man.
that?
I told him
please.
it's the
Let me chime
spirit
in
of
on that.
Santa. I already told my kid.
Let me
I'm
chime
like,
in on that. You remind me of one of the little elves.
You remind me of Shrek. Same ears.
Okay.
I'll be
You don't have to toss it back. Just enjoy the ride.
But I will.
Right. All right. So I've had that conversation with my wife multiple times because I don't lie, and I damn well don't lie to my children. You know what I mean? So, but watch this. This is something that might surprise you guys. I have a 13-year-old, right? We've been through the elf situation. We've been through the Santa Claus situation. You know what? And it broke her heart. It broke her heart. So 2 points I want to make here. Number one, is that there's two sides to that coin where trust is broken and now you're questioning reality, or you're questioning truth, or you're questioning everything, right? I actually think that I want my children to question everything for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
Right? So number one, right? I want them to question everything. So if finding out that Santa Claus is not real, they begin to question everything.
That's a W.
I especially where we are right now and where we're headed
Yeah.
with propaganda and now AI, and right? I want them to question everything. So I don't necessarily see that, right, as a bad thing, right?
It's a double-edged sword. I want to
it is.
respond to that because here's the problem. Ambiguity is the enemy of a calm nervous system. So you cannot create from ambiguity. So like, think about when we have a dangerous situation showing up in our life and we're like, oh my God, this could happen and this could happen and this could happen and this could happen. We think of all the worst case scenarios. And so when we don't have the data, we can't make a predictive decision that leads to a trending reality that is our best case scenario. So check this out. That's why I'm all in on soul science now, what we're talking about. You know, I've been a freaking nerd. I've been screaming in the void about soul science since I met you guys. You're like, what is this guy talking about? Now it's more relevant than ever before because let me take this a step further. let's talk about what is truth. Have you ever asked AI what truth is? AI doesn't believe in truth. Did you know that?
Wow.
AI doesn't have truth because of what you said. What does AI have? It has a data set, a sample of data. And so a new piece of data comes in, and is gravity true? Well, not really. If the Earth spins a little faster, gravity changes, right? What we know gravity as is just what it is right now in this moment, this sample. So AI believes in probability. You either have high probability based on data or low probability. But there is something divinely integrated into all humans that make us different from the animal kingdom, that ties us to morality and ethics, and most importantly, truth. And this is what I've been studying for 25 years. Like, there's all these clairvoyant abilities. There's shows where you can teach a kid to navigate and run an obstacle course blindfolded, okay? Because we can tap into the unseen energy field, and true is true. So I want to give everyone an example right now. There's this organization called Heart Math Institute. You ever heard of coherence?
I've heard of Heart Math, and you put me
You know,
on
I
that.
preach and teach
I have
this.
it. I bought the whole
Yeah, you can buy a little inner
technology,
balance.
Oh, yeah?
You put this little thing up on your ear, and it measures
Oh,
your
yeah,
heart rate
Sal.
variability.
Me and him went down a rabbit hole for a couple years. When he was when he was training my mind.
Yeah. So there's, they used to be thousands of bucks. Now it's like $250. You go to heartmath.com and you buy this little node you put on your ear. You do some breath work. You focus on a positive emotion, and you can witness your mind, what you're thinking about, what coherence is. I don't care if you believe in soul. Science has proven that we're all transmitting an electrical toroidal energy field,
We are
an
energy,
aura.
for sure, yeah.
There's so many studies on the biofield, right? And although you can't see the energy that we're exchanging with the outer environment, it is real. That is true, okay?
By the way, let me just tell you, you now speak his language.
I know.
Yeah.
When we were at
Here, let me say this.
Well said, you do.
You speak his language more than I speak his language. And he can prove that to
What
you.
you're trying to say is by the way, there's the guy that invented the CPU or the CPU or GPU, I forgot. He's an Italian inventor, and he is now very, very involved in the studies of that the soul or consciousness, or it's tied to quantum physics.
CPU chip cell?
Yeah, I forgot his name. He's an Italian
Federico.
guy. Federico.
Fagan?
Yeah, look at type that.
Federico Fagan.
Federico Fagan.
Federico
but,
He is,
Fagan.
he is the Italian inventor credited for designing the first commercial microprocessor, the Intel 4004.
But type that with consciousness, and he'll prove to you that now it's quantum physics. He's trying to type quantum. You're talking about the wave and all that. If you really go
Quantum
down to
neutrino electrical exchange.
the quarks and all that, so
Yeah.
he's trying to prove that this is all part of the quantum as well. So
This
it's
is
not too far away from what you're
my
saying.
passion is studying this. It has been forever, and it's always kind of been this thing that just made me a weirdo with all the, because everyone knows me as the dude that helps people scale businesses for the purpose of like exit, acquisition, merging, raising capital. But my passion is this same thing, soul science, the study of the electrical unseen so that we can access the truth. I've just been hungry for the truth since I was tiny. I grew up in Montana where it's like, you guys don't know shit. This is some John Wayne nonsense.
Remember you used to be the king of the shitheads?
That's what I mean, king of the shitheads. You only need to make about 100 G's in Montana.
He was a baller. He was a baller in Montana. He was like, man, I'm the king of the shitheads.
Yeah, no, for real. But just to anchor this point, and I really want to give everyone the example. So back to heart math. What heart math is it's the study of this electrical field. And when you're transmitting energy from your head, we're also like part of your aura, your electrical toroidal transmission comes through your head, but the biggest part of your electrical transmission comes from the heart. And so when the frequency and the voltage align at the same time, they call it coherence, right? It's coherence. If I have a guitar over here, an acoustic guitar, and I have one over here, do you know if I pluck the string on this one, that one vibrates, that string does, that note? That's coherence. And so when those two signals align, it creates a coherent state. Your heart rate variability calms, your nervous system calms. You can think clear, you can come up with creative ideas, you can solve problems in real time without a bunch of confusion, without data. So this is a lot of what I teach. And now I'm going all in on it because we're fucked if people don't know this.
Yeah.
Because our logical IQ is plummeting at an ever increasing rate. So check this out.
So you're saying we have to increase our EQ?
Even further than that, we have to tap into our core intuition, our clairvoyant abilities, our psychic awareness that gives us a green flag. And the more people are tied into that together, it becomes undeniable evidence. And back to the point, it becomes, proven probability that we can then label and call truth until proven otherwise. So here's a simple one. I want you all to feel this. You don't cheat because you know the answer. We've done it. We've done a lot of this work. But like, just for now, just hello, 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 whatever you're thinking about, come into your body. I say to myself silently, hello, 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 Earth to Jeremy, hello.
Hello,
when your kids are trying to get your attention, they're like, Dad, Dad, Dad. Eventually you say what? Eventually you say,
What do you want?
What? Right? So you say it till you get to what? So hello, 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 Earth to Jeremy, throw a little profanity. Fucking where you at? Hello? What? You almost get a sensation of looking over your shoulder when you use your own name. Then just breathe. Exhale everything out, reset, because your emotional system dictates the way you think, the way you feel, your perception, because that's your conscious state. So just fully reset your breathing pattern so you're not a puppet to your emotional system. What is the answer to the question I'm about to ask? You'll feel it in your heart. You feel it send a signal up the vagus nerve, and the brain won't even send it down the cognitive hallway. It'll agree, and it's a one-word response. What is more important than right now?
Nothing.
Say that again?
Nothing.
What's more important than right now?
I wasn't going to say that, but it makes sense. Nothing.
Okay, now I'm going to ask it again, but feel that answer in your heart. You'll feel it, and your brain just agrees. What's more important than this moment?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That is absolute truth. That is objective truth, because there is no other moment, right? So how could anything be more important? There's no past, there's no future. So a lot of ADD is thinking about the past, thinking about the future, pulling people out of the present. Oh, what happened to Charlie? Half this podcast, we're talking about the past. We're not even here and enjoying each other's eye contact, company, and humanness. We're thinking about the future. What are we going to do? AI is going to take over the world. Forgive me for getting so animated, but the truth is the truth. And we have access to it inside of ourselves through the integrated intelligence divinely embedded in all humanity. When you see someone getting beat up and murdered, all of humanity knows morally and ethically, is it true that that is quote unquote wrong?
It is.
Yeah.
That's my point. And so there is a fundamental divine truth. It doesn't matter what religion,
It's a
what
universal
belief
truth.
systems you have.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
AI does not have access to that intelligence. And that's why I believe that the greatest asset in the future world is those of us tied in and connected to that part of ourselves that can navigate
The
a
few.
synthetic world, the few.
There will be a few.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I call it
then-
authentic intelligence.
Oof. And guess what, though? What if those few are persecuted in the future?
That's why I ain't saying.
Well, eventually they'll.
That's
They'll
why I ain't
live
saying
underground.
certain countries'
They'll live
names
underground.
and stuff. You know.
Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, Sal, I wanted to tell you something that, you know, he was talking about energy and aura, right? I know that some folks might think that that's some hocus pocus stuff, but if you ever take a, it's called a dowsing rod, a copper dowsing rod, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Where
I've
you
watched.
can-
I've watched.
You literally, like, I can, you know, I can have him probably start where you are, and I'll have the dowsing rod, right? I'll have the dowsing rod, and I'll say, get closer, get closer, get closer. Eventually, that dowsing rod is going to start to open up a
Yeah.
little bit. It's going to start to move, and that's going to tell me how far your electromagnetic or your aura or your energy actually precedes you, right? Precedes you, yes? How ahead of it and how circular,
perimeter.
right? The energetic kind of perimeter that you have. So when you walk in a room, why do you think, you know, depending on the type of energy that you bring to a room, someone's like, whoa,
Who's that?
Yeah, you feel it.
who is that?
You already feel it. Someone walks in a room, you know immediately. Trust is a 7-second game. Someone walks in the room, you know within 7 seconds inside your body if you trust that person or not.
And let
It's
me
a
just say
feeling.
this, let me just educate, right? And this is respectfully, and obviously you've been my business partner for 13 years, right? Think about like when we're doing the mansion masterminds, or we're doing this, or I'm public speaking. What do you think has the biggest effect on people? Is it what I say or how I make them feel?
No, how you make them feel for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
why is that though? Because there's a lot of people smarter than me.
I'll tell you why. 73855. It's been well documented. 73855. 93% of communication is nonverbal. That's why I can give 100 people the same script. Words mean shit. It's 7% words, 38% tonality, cadence, rhythm, 55% body language. You know, and so we've already known this, and those of us study those fine-tuned cues of communication have already been aware of this. If you've been in any level of high-ticket sales, where exactly, you ever signed over money and then never saw that money and didn't get delivered? Yeah, well, your brain goes, I ain't gonna let that happen. And every person that comes up back to, is this another Santa Claus thing? Right? Right? That's the point. And we are moving into the era called the age of intuition. And it's going to accelerate rapidly because we no longer have access to a collective data set of information that we can label as truth.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say we've gotten so many warnings, and I feel like we don't listen. Like, what do all these movies? There's so many, but what are all these movies having? iRobot, Matrix, okay, Terminator. What do they all
how
have in
about
common?
Ready Player One?
Yeah, I love that.
That's AI more.
Great movie.
Yeah, that is. That's
Sick. Have you watched Ready Player One?
But wait, what do all those movies have?
I've watched the
in common?
movie twice. Yes.
Ready? Okay.
Those. I said those specifically though. Terminator, iRobot, and Matrix. What do they all have in common?
Annihilation.
AI took
At the
over.
end of the movie, we're all terrified
AI
of
took over.
technology and
AI
robots.
took over and it tried to get rid of us.
Yeah.
That's what it does. So like, why do we think it's not going to try to do that?
Skynet.
Look, two things that were said here, and I think that we should hone in on that. Number one, you said that AI has, like, it could be the detriment to humanity. I think humanity can be a detriment to humanity because we can push a button and humanity
Well, not
and
only
Earth
that,
would be
Sal,
blown up.
Sal,
a few
but human
thousand-
beings, we have a way of making good things into turn bad.
Of course.
Yeah,
And
we cut down
and then
trees
the AI
to get paper,
accelerated that, and then now it might have that power to do. So now it's double-edged sword.
AI is like money. It just enhances the value of the holder.
Absolutely. And number two, what you said, and I think we just kind of whizzed by that. What you mentioned, Alan Watts. If you guys know who Alan Watts, like, I would definitely, like, you don't have to agree with everything he
love
says,
that.
but
Yeah.
you can take a lot of that stuff. And I do agree on what you just said earlier. Is that there is only one truth? Is that it is that happening right now? When I said now a few seconds ago, it's gone. Now it's the new now, and that is the only truth that the entire how many billions of people right now? 8 billion people on Earth.
Roughly.
Roughly 8 billion people?
8 billion, yeah.
8 billion people on Earth? What about insects, animals, all that? How many billions of that? Trillions. They're
Zillions.
all living in this moment that we're speaking right now. And that is the only truth. Everything else is the past. You dwell over the past. That is your anxiety. I mean, sorry, that is your depression. That's when people are depressed. And you worry about the future. That's the anxiety. None of those two things are real. And one of the people that I look up to, he says that we're forever prisoners of the now, we're forever imprisoned by the now, forever transitioning from the inaccessible past and the unknowable future.
It's real.
And that is the realest thing. If you think like that, you're in control of your future.
Yeah, because like that's the number one problem with humanity is that they are not present. They're not in
You're
their body.
You're somewhat in control of your future because that is the safest route and that is the most open route.
Right. Yeah, but you just nailed it. Something that's really important that people forget. Like your fears and your dreams are the same thing. They're illusions. They are delusionary imagination of a projection of a worst case scenario or best case scenario on the future. Mm-hmm. Right. And so you just nailed it. Depression is thinking about the past and anxiety is thinking about the future. So where you at? Are you present with your family? When we met, I was like, hey, nothing else matters than you showing up and being present with your kids and your wife, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, especially as business people, it's easy to think about the moat and the castle and the kingdom we're building all day, even when we're eating dinner with our family, right? And so I'm glad you really anchored that because that is the antidote. The antidote is to be like, what is more important right now? Nothing. Are these even my emotions and thoughts? No. Well, whose are they? All right. Well, what the fuck do I want? What do I want for the world? What do I want for the people in my life, my community? All right, well, how do we create that? And when we bring our attention, one of my favorite concepts is this. Do you want to have more influence in your life, on yourself and everyone in your life in a positive way?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Everyone here.
Who
doesn't want to have more influence over their life and the people that matter to them?
Or my life all the time.
Well, if you want to be more influential, that's why I laugh at this concept of influencer. Because look, we're all influencers. But there's one thing that influences more than anything else. You ready? Questions direct focus. Questions direct the focus of the conscious and the subconscious mind, yours and others. So when we ask a question to redirect our focus, are we redirecting our focus back in something we have control over, something we can create that can powerfully solve problems and eliminate pain from the world? Because we can all sit here and talk about whatever the hell propaganda they're feeding us through the machine, whatever they're forcing us to look at down the news feed, not putting that danger reel on there, but making us hit the button. But you just nailed it. Presence, awareness, self-worth, empathy, like communication skills, conflict resolution skills.
That's what this is. So what you're describing, but that's what it is. What to be a Christian, in my opinion, I mean, forget the religion side or anything, but to be Christian is to be Christ-like. And I believe that what you just described is for us as human beings, it is our duty to do these things. And if you want to follow,
Christ embodied all those principles.
what's that?
Christ embodied.
He
all
embodied
those
it, and
principles.
he preached it for thousands of years. So whether you believe in the religion, if you're a religious person or not, as a human being, in order for you to achieve the highest of what, just go follow that.
Be Christ-like.
Be Christ-like. And are you going to achieve that? I don't know. I don't think so. But the manual is there, right, to be a good human being. But we're all living in this world that is distorted and fear-mongering and power-hungry and now we have
anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're busy with a nonsense.
And manipulation too, like controlling people. Like for instance, if you go to church and they say like, be Christ-like, be like Christ, that's not really the message that's being sent. It's like, Christ is this, you're this, and you're totally separate.
See, I have a problem with that. That's the problem I have when like people they make people believe that they'll never be enough to be good, and I disagree on that. I disagree on that.
I don't like how a lot of churches have to constantly remind us of how broken we are. I'm not a fan of that. Like I'm not.
I don't even like the word sin.
I'm not a fan, and I think we got to have a part 2 of this. But let me just, let me anchor 3 things, right? It's like
how out of all that.
Let me anchor. Okay, here's the way that I make decisions and form perspectives. Okay, data, experience, and intuition, which is gut. That's how I make my personal decisions, business decisions, and my perspectives or opinions, which is what you were saying earlier, right? It's like, I look at the data, I do my research. Think about this, right? I've been on social media now consistently for quite some time. The reason why people, I don't have to take a post down, or why people can't, they can't come at me the way that they, come at a lot of these different dudes on social. It's because I don't speak before I actually know. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I only speak of what I know. I do the research, so I gather the data, and then I allow my life experience or my business experience, right? Or my experience of pain and suffering to kind of direct me in the direction that I want to take with a specific subject or business or whatever the subject may be, right? And then I take all of that, and then I take my gut and my intuition. I say, you know what? I really feel that it's this, you know what I mean? And that's how I come up with my subjects or my opinions or form my perspectives, right? That's number one.
That's
so
solid.
Just to kind of
Pretty solid.
What'd you say?
It's pretty solid.
We
Thank
make
you.
decisions emotionally and we justify them logically. We always have.
There you go. Here's the other thing, to talk about what you were saying and or to confirm what you were saying and what you were saying. Man, this world, man, like, social media, politics, celebrities, I mean, whatever. Everybody's chasing relevance now. They're chasing relevance, and it's disgusting. They're no longer chasing significance. They're no longer chasing impact and influence and servitude.
Passion.
Servitude. What's that, bro? No one that goes to college understands what servitude is.
Because the mission is to keep the act going. And to break what that down.
Relevance.
But the relevance, it's because everybody is everybody acts in front of each other. So everybody is performing, and that performance at a global level or at a whatever you want to call it, and that is dictating what they should do. So relevance, they're doing the relevance to continue the act, and they don't even know they're in the act.
Can I do something right now?
Please.
Okay. Jeremy, 3 things somebody watching this right now, you connected with them. They're like, he's right. What do I do now? Yeah, I'm in the now. Okay, not the past, not the future. I relate with what Sal's saying. What do they do? 3 things that they could do right now to move forward towards what the hell we're talking about.
Number 1, you master your breath. You've mastered the rest. I've said this over and over. Your consciousness, the state of emotion you're in that you identify as. Isn't it funny when you're angry, you don't go, I'm feeling anger. We go, I'm pissed off. Like you identify as that thing. Your emotional state, if you look up the map of consciousness, your emotional state dictates your breathing pattern. And whatever emotional state you're in then dictates the type of thoughts you have, the worldview and the God view you have. So number 1, master your breath and you've mastered the rest. Exhale, 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 swim to the bottom of the swimming pool. That's what I call it. And reset, use all your lungs because you automatically feel better right now. 2, questions, direct focus. Like, what do you want? What do you want for your life physically in your body? Like, what do you want your health to look like? What kind of thoughts do you want to think? Because we know how our minds think at default. If you want your mind to think different, you got to be intentional.
Let me jump in here real quick. So you're saying breathe, which puts you at a state of being able to grow, being able to learn, being able to like not be fight or flight, right? Number two, it's ask a question because you have this amazing computer right here and you need to activate it. And the way you activate it is by asking it questions.
Yeah, self-inquiry. It's called self-inquiry first. You know, a great book that literally healed a lot of shit for me is called Loving What Is by Byron Katie. She gives a process in there, and it's like, is that true?
Loving what is. Got it.
Yeah. How can I know that's true? What's evidence it's true? If it wasn't true, how would you feel? If it's true, how do you feel? And you start to go, why would I believe something that makes me feel like dog shit? And then it has you flip it around, and every time I do this thing, it turns out that the opposite's true. Like, especially our judgments toward other people and circumstances of our past and our life. Yeah, questions direct the focus of the conscious and unconscious mind.
Breathe,
Third, get your house in order, right? Like, literally, honor your body. You don't have, do you need to know a diet? Or do you go, does this honor my body, right? Like, does laying on my couch honor the body? Does eating this fat, juicy cheeseburger honor your body? Is this honoring my body?
I love
Discipline your mind. Get your mind to think about what you want it to think about. Stop once in a while and be like, what am I distracted from that I want, that I could put effort into, that I control, getting a little closer to that thing, right? Discipline your mind. Nurture your emotions. We don't have emotions to sedate, run from. I took a huge shift this year. I no caffeine, no substances, alcohol, weed, nothing. And it's been one of the greatest gifts because I'm like, whoa, I feel things I didn't feel before. I have emotions. And our emotions are designed to give us guidance in life. When you feel pain on your foot, it's so that you can stitch that bad boy up and not bleed to death. And
it's a warning. You're basically, and then by doing all those things, you're blocking the warning system.
You can't heal what you don't feel. Yeah. And what you name, you tame. So when you start to get clear that there's more than 4 emotions, happy, sad, scared, and pissed, like, and you actually study emotions and you get clear on what you're feeling, you start to have, and back to earlier, EQ, emotional intelligence. There's 4 levels of it. Awareness of your own emotions, management of your own emotions, which is almost all your breath, awareness of others' emotions, and management of others' emotions. You stop taking things so personally. You get out of everyone else's business, and there's only 3 kinds of business. There's God's business, there's other people's business, and then there's my business. Control the controllables. Let go of your opinion, focus on your dominion. That's what I would say.
Wow. Let go of your opinion. What'd you say?
Let go of your opinion, focus on your dominion.
Oof, that's sick.
Can you say I love that?
I love that. See, that was called.
That's a lyric. I've been creating music this year too.
I could tell.
By the way, as I wind down the show,
this whole time.
I'm going to wind down the show, and here's what I'm going to conclude with. I'm still thinking about the Santa Claus thing, right?
Yeah, this shit's going all fucked up.
But it's okay because when my daughter came of age, right, and we had to sit down with her and explain to her about Santa Claus and explain to her about Elf on the Shelf and things like that, right? My wife, who was the perpetrator, I'm not gonna just pass the buck, right? But she was, because I'm just like you. I don't want to lie to my children, but I understand, women, especially that mother intuition, they feel and know things that we will never have access to. Right? So I understand why she does what she does, It comes from a loving place, and it creates love too. It creates hope and fantasy, right? Imagination and love, right? So I understand why she does some of the things she does, or parents do the things they do, right? Like the tooth fairy. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. All right? I get it. But we had this meeting with my daughter and she cried. She was crying about, things like that. And I understand. Boom, right? Like, this was a barrier that, that she broke through. But then my wife asked her as she's crying, and she says, you know what? We're not, because my daughter is 13 and my other daughter is 7. She says, you know what? We're not going to do this to your sister. I don't want to see her go through this. You know what she said?
She said, don't do that.
She said, no, Mom, don't take that away from her.
Wow. So beautiful.
Don't take that away from her.
But it's how you do it.
It's
you
work.
know?
She said, it's worth the journey and it's worth the heartbreak.
That's so much wisdom for a 13-year-old.
It's
Right.
worth the
Crazy.
journey and it's worth the
heartbreak.
heartbreak.
Wow.
I've got a little baby girl that believes in Santa. She's 2 years old. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm Santa. Santa's not real. All these movies you watching, it's not real. They're lying to you. No, I'm
But
with
think
you on that.
think about that. Think about that, right? Don't take that away from don't take that away from my sister. That was such
But
a
you know what
beautiful
the
part of my
indicator is?
childhood.
Yeah.
You know what the indicator is? Intent.
Love.
What is your intention?
Yeah,
Your
intention,
intention
love,
is
yeah.
to have them believe in magic, have them believe that, a life of, what is Santa? If you act really good, you're going to get presents. If you act like a little asshole, you're going to get coal. So like, yeah, you could say that's fear-based dominion. It's a mechanism of control, but
say it's karma.
isn't it also positive to program people and tie the tether to their natural morality and ethics that, hey, your behavior begets rewards, because that is life. You have what you've committed to.
But it's
You
a
commit
chapter they
crime,
have
you
to
know what that
close.
does. You commit to.
But it's so in my opinion, it's a chapter that I'm gonna have to close with my kids.
Naturally,
and
yeah.
the only way to where I can close that chapter when I tell them it's real is it's my job to get them to that point where they understand and they can think logically. And that logical thinking, I will look them in the eye and say, you know what, if you felt betrayed and we lied to you, it came from a good place. However, I want you to always question. But they would not understand what that means if I did not do a good job as a parent to make them think cognitively,
Right.
to make them think not in a skeptic, because skepticism, I believe that skepticism keeps us alive as human beings, and it's a survival mechanism. However, you don't want to have everybody to live from skepticism as a first defense.
Right.
So you want curiosity. And curiosity should lead that, and skepticism should be in the as a defense mechanism, as a last resort.
That's actually like the quote of the whole show.
Oof.
Curiosity. Yeah, it didn't kill the cat.
Yeah.
Curiosity
Freed it.
calmed the peace of mind and heart so we could live from peace. Like that. That is. It's don't be a skeptic, be curious.
We got to spend some time together.
Yeah.
Sedona.
We got to get the wizards up to Sedona.
That's right.
I'm joking.
No, for real though. For real.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
this was
mastermind.
fun.
Imagine we
There's-
spend 8 hours together.
There's a mastermind happening there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you
So-
come, bro?
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
man.
with that being said, we're gonna have to do another show very soon, man. Thank you for stopping in.
Anytime.
Thank you, bro.
It was
Yeah,
a beautiful.
amazing.